13 extra base hits, 22 runs on offense, and a pitching staff racking up 32 strikeouts en route to a 3-game sweep. Today, Steven Strasburg makes his second straight start against the Braves. And there is a beast in the lineup to lend added punch. Finally, some beautiful weather in the district, and finally, that big bat makes its return to the lineup. The Braves are only 4-10 in the East, a couple of games back of the Nats. The Nationals, one of the better home teams in all of baseball this year. Bob and FP, let's talk hitting first. We don't often do that these days, but with Michael Morse returning, why not? Amazing consistency last year, 302 at home, 303 on the road.
Yeah, the beast is out of his cage. It's time for him to eat. So he went on his rehab assignment. You know, it's going to take him a while. Don't expect too much too soon, but it's nice to have him back in the lineup. It makes, with the way you pitch everybody else around him, a little bit different. When you have that kind of presence lurking on the bench as a pitcher, you just can't be free and easy going after guys. You know you got a 30 home run guy on the bench. And don't forget his last at-bat in this ballpark last year against the Braves, and it was a home run. Yeah, and those three players were the only ones to do it better, all kind of MVP-type players. So that's Michael Morse and the effect he'll have on Adam LaRoche and all the other guys in the middle of this lineup. As Christina said, it'll be the subject of pitchers' meetings now on the other side. How about two really good pitchers meeting today? Brandon Beachy and Steven Strasburg. Because of the rainout, Freddie Gonzalez takes his number one and pushes him back to today. Yeah, what a treat for us. A great pitching matchup tonight when you talk about Brandon Beachy, a 1.77 ERA. That's the lowest in the big leagues. A 1.82 opponent's average against. That's the second lowest in the National League. So Brandon Beachy's got good stuff. And for Steven Strasburg, a 5.79 ERA in his last three starts, and it all starts with fastball command. He's been searching to throw strikes with that fastball. Look for him to be very, very aggressive tonight. And shouldn't we remember, the guy's 23 years old. At that age, some guys are throwing the ball up against the screen in single A and double A. Yeah, it's a learning experience for him every fifth day when he goes out there. And I think last time in Atlanta, he learned that even though he doesn't have the fastball command that he wanted to, he had a good curveball, good changeup. And I think that's what we've seen from Steven the last couple of starts. Not good fastball command, but the other two are pretty good. And at the age of 19, a lot of guys are wondering what CD they're going to buy next. Well, for Bryce Harper in the Atlanta series, he was 5 out of 11 with 2 homers and 3 walks. He was hitting everything the Braves could throw at him. Harper, Strasburg, the young Nats, and the always tough Braves straight ahead.
To you by Jeep. Visit Jeep.com to learn more. And by Cholula Hot Sauce, the flavorful hot sauce with the iconic wooden cap. Beautiful day here. It's going to be a close to capacity crowd. And they're still coming down Half Street. Going to be coming in here for a long, long time. And the big roar you hear behind me is the introduction of Michael Morse taking the field for the Nats. Visit train.com for an independent train. Comfort specialist dealer near you. It's hard to stop a train. 75 degrees, humidity down after all this storm activity last night. We hope you and your family and friends are safe and sound on this beautiful Saturday, June 2nd. Good to see a beast in right field. Davey Johnson told me during batting practice today he's going to try to leave Michael in right field as much as he can, not move him around too much, even when Rick Ankiel might make a late game defensive appearance. So it'll be interesting to watch this outfield now of Morse, Harper in center, and then Lombardozzi and a host of others playing left field. We'll see how it all shakes out. Braves lineup, they're 7th in the league in hitting, 3rd in runs, and 5th in home runs. They've got Dan Uggla slugging away. They have Freddie Freeman back, able to see the baseball. They have Brian McCann back, feeling better. And they've called up speedy Jose Constanza. And they also have a new shortstop from AA and Drelton Simmons, who they are very, very high on for the future. Strasburg, 4th career start against the Braves. He's 1-2 with a high ERA, but these are a bunch of guys, him and the Braves, getting to know each other pretty well.
And last time out Saturday at Atlanta, got the 8-4 win. Offense picked up Steven big time. A pinch hit double by Chad Tracy to earn him the win. In 5 innings, he allowed 4 runs on 6 hits, walked a season-high 4, struck out 3 through 95 pitches, 51 for strikes. So 2-seam fastball, 4-seam fastball, curve change is what the Braves will see from Steven Strasburg today. Let's check out the defense for the Nats behind Strasburg. Lombardozzi, Harper, Morse in the outfield. Desmond Zimmerman on the left side. Espinoza, LaRoche on the right side. And Jesus Flores doing the catching.
So Lombardozzi was not going to start the ball game last night because Mike Minor was pitching. But against a right-hander today, he's out there in left. And Danny Espinoza, who was scheduled to lead off last night, is down at the number 7 spot. So here's Steven Strasburg against Michael Bourne, and finally this series getting underway. Right in there.
And that's a good sign. First pitch fastball for a strike. 96 out of bed.
Darryl Cousins, 2nd longest tenure in all of baseball. The crew chief has the plate. Ron Kolpa, DJ Rayburn, Jim Wolf around the bases. 34th year for Darryl Cousins. Only Joe West has been around longer. Bourne is 3rd in the league with 66 hits. The Nats have done a pretty good job against him. He's hitting .299. That's a fastball on the corner that'll punch him out. Steven hits a couple of corners early, FP. It could do wonders for his confidence with that number 1.
Yeah, 98 miles an hour on the black. And you could see early that he's staying back, keeping his front side closed. Might have caught a break on that one. A 98-mile-an-hour fastball for a strike. And I think last time out in Atlanta, flying open a little bit, kind of pulling across, yanking his fastball. There was times when he was cutting his fastball unintentionally and couldn't keep it in the zone. Then he'd go to the 2-seam fastball. If you remember, it was riding up and away to lefties. And just had a tough time throwing the fastball for a strike.
So Michael Bourne is 3rd in the league in hits. Martin Prado is 7th. Those guys have 129 hits between them. Prado batting .332, 6th best in the league. Well, the Braves got healthy in a hurry. Establishing the fastball, 98.
It's a lot like hitting and pitching. If you get off your backside and don't stay back, your front side flies open, then you lose your release point. And watch Strasburg right now, very slow, staying on that backside. And that's the yank I'm talking about. You try to overthrow a fastball, maybe you don't get out there far enough, you pull across it and it cuts.
Yeah, 98's fine. That one was 99 outside. And Prado, a good hitter, rather late for that one. Quickly 2 balls, 2 strikes here.
And Carp, we talk about it all the time. For a power pitcher or the elite pitchers in the league, when do you get them? You get them early. So for Steven Strasburg, this first inning becomes very important, A, to get out of it, and B, to establish your fastball in the strike zone, to have confidence going the rest of the day. And those guys are liking what they're seeing so far. Gio got the red shades on today. I like it. I think Edwin Jackson's a great example for everybody else on this staff. His last outing against the Marlins in that great lineup, that hot lineup they have, he featured mostly fastball right after those guys.
Then he pulls the string on the off-speed pitch. That looked like the big breaker down in the dirt, and 2 strikeouts to start the game.
The old so far so good for Steven Strasburg. I just threw you 99. I'll take that and go back to the bench. The 83-mile-an-hour 12-6 hammer. Look at that out in front. Creating tons of spin on that. I don't think people realize that a curveball actually takes more arm speed than a fastball.
Pulling down that lampshade.
Yeah, you got to pull that thing down hard to create that spin to get the break.
Fastball into Brian McCann.
99.
I'd say he came out of the bullpen loose today. Target's in, and that's well off the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. Steven Strasburg career 11-5, 28th career start, ERA of 2.58. And his 2.64 this year is just barely out of the top 10 in the league. There's the changeup. 91, just missed. Good place to miss, though.
A good fastball hitter in a fastball count. You want to throw one here, you can establish your presence big time.
He turns one over. McCann thought it was a fastball, and from a lot of pitchers it is, but not with that kind of down and away movement.
I think that's the pitch that separates Strasburg from a lot of elite pitchers in the game, that 91-mile-an-hour changeup with the movement.
Nasty breaking ball. Flores keeps it close, and somebody on that mound is on their game early today. Today, see your authorized Dodge dealer. Experience the world of performance design and fuel efficiency. Schedule a test drive or go to Dodge.com. Check out the powerful lineup. Michael Morse, strong enough to be a Dodge Ram. He's back in there today. The .550 slugging percentage, 4th in the National League. His on-base percentage plus slugging, the old ops they talk about, was way up there in the 800, 900 range last year, and he makes a big difference. The Nats face Brandon Beachy, who's 1-2 in 4 starts against the Nats. Took care of him in Atlanta last weekend, and here he is, right back against the team that knocked him off.
Yeah, coming off back-to-back losses. Last time out Sunday against the Nats, took the 7-2 loss, pitched 5 innings, a 3-hit ball, gave up 3 runs, 1 earned, struck out 7, walked a season-high 4. He also hit a batter, Threw 105 pitches, 57 for strikes, so he didn't have as good command last time out. Four-seam fastball, slider, curveball change is what the Nats are going to be looking at from Brandon Beachy today.
Lombardozzi batting .320, and he takes one on the corner. And Darryl Cousins establishes early the outside corner is available for the right-handed pitchers.
It's really available.
5 out of 6 he sits safely in for Lombardozzi. So .346 over the last week or so. Dumps one into left field, and Jose Constanza is there. A lot more speed in their outfield and their lineup with that guy playing left field. So here's Bryce Harper, coming off a very good series against the Braves. And then down in Miami, he was just 2 for 12 against the Fish. But he hit the ball hard on a number of occasions. Just some really bad luck in that 3-game set.
He hit a line drive to Jose Reyes at short that almost took his glove off. He hit a line drive to second base the other night that might have been the hardest line drive I've ever seen hit in an infield. Probably about 3 feet off the ground the whole way, and I don't think you can hit a ball any harder than that. You see, Beachy's the kind of guy who'll move the ball around. He'll throw any pitch at any count. He'll establish a fastball in the inner half to set up his curveball changeup combo in the outer half. But he'll pitch backwards, meaning when he's behind in the count, he'll throw off speed. Like that.
Well, Harper, .359, hitting safely in 9 of his last 10 games. That streak came to an end on Wednesday night. There's the outside corner.
So 3-1 count right here. Bryce not guaranteed a fastball. You saw the 2-0 changeup from Beachy. As a hitter, you got to be all over dead red.
3-1 coming. He was all over it a little bit late, and look out. Nats come into the game hitting .244, 12th in the league. 13th in runs. We have a feeling that's about to change. Top 6 in home runs. And a 3-2 that he gets off to the left side.
Beachy has one of those sneaky fastballs. So you see 91, 92 on the radar gun, but he's a short arm guy. Comes right over the top with that 4-seam fastball. That's all he features. Sometimes he'll cut it by mistake because he's trying to overthrow it. But it's sneaky fast. You got to gear up.
And another payoff pitch with 1 out. Turning into a nice at bat for Bryce Harper. 1 for 2. First exposure to Beachy last weekend with a walk. And pitch number 8 of the at-bat is off speed outside. And Bryce Harper walks for the 15th time this year. Very well done.
Yeah, great at-bat right there from Bryce Harper, taking the 3-2 curveball for ball 4. Let's set the defense for the Braves today. Constanza, Bourne, Hayward in the outfield. Simmons, Prado on the left side. Ugla, Freeman on the right side. And Brian McCann doing the catching.
And Drelton Simmons hitting .292 at Double-A Mississippi when they called him up. They think he's the shortstop of the future. They love his defense. And he's got some pop. 3 home runs down there, 10 stolen bases. Pop and speed. Off speed to Zimmerman for a strike. Ryan's had good success against Beachy career. 4 out of 9. Starts today hitting .246. But Ryan's had 12 in his last 12 games, hitting safely 10 of those 15 hits. That's well hit out to left center. Right there is Jose Constanza. 2 outs. Well, wouldn't you love to see Adam LaRoche get aboard and Michael Morse bat with a couple of guys on base, or maybe a run in with another man on base. Big at bat here early for the Nats.
LaRoche's bat woke up in South Florida. A couple of doubles his last game.
Yeah, Adam was 0 for 8 before doubling 2 of his last 3 at bats down there. Still batting .287 with an on-base percentage in the .380 range. Target away. Beachy threw a lot of pitches, FP, in that first game. His numbers, his control numbers, weren't real good either.
105 pitches, just 57 for strikes. Only made it through 5 innings, and he actually hit a guy too.
Semi shift on for LaRoche, about 40 feet of room down the third baseline.
He doesn't have a good feel for that changeup yet. Hasn't thrown it for a strike. I think that's why he threw Bryce Harper so many 3-2 fastballs in a row, because he tried a 2-0 changeup on Harper, and it wasn't anywhere near. Neither was that one right there.
Well, LaRoche may be sitting dead red here, about to. I know 2-0 is hard to call an ambush. And he'll take it, ball 3. If they want to walk him to get to Michael Morse, have at it.
And I think this is a count where you have to swing. When you're facing a guy like Beachy, you're not guaranteed a 3-1 fastball. So you get a 3-0 count. You know this is going to be a fastball. You got a guy with pop up there. This should be a green light.
He's going to miss on 4 in a row, and we will let you walk up with Michael Morse here.
The right fielder, number 38, Michael Morse.
Michael hit .303 last year, 31 homers, 95 RBIs, 36 doubles. And as I mentioned, his consistency was amazing. .302 here, .303 on the road.
He goes deep. This ballpark might implode.
Beachy gets ahead. Led the Nats in just about everything a hitter could last year. He'll hit it up the middle on the ground, and it's Simmons, the shortstop, looking very relaxed, making that play to strand a couple. Nats get 2 walks. Michael Morse back in action.
Let's check out Steven Strasburg striking out the side in the first. The fastball command was great. I want you to watch this 2-0 changeup right here. Unbelievable. Maybe one of the better changeups you'll see all year to Brian McCann. And he finishes him off with a curveball. Actually, a 2-1 changeup to the 2-2 curveball. But so far, so good for Strasburg. All 3 pitches absolutely dirty.
Well, the league strikeout leader is constantly in flux depending on who's pitching on a particular day, and Gio's day will come tomorrow as Strasburg approaches him, leapfrogging Cole Hamels, who, by the way, is pitching today against the Marlins. And the Phillies got a run in the bottom of the first at home against Ricky Nolasco after beating Miami last night. St. Louis and the Mets just underway. Lance Lynn and R.A. Dickey in New York. The Marlins and the Mets are 1 game behind the Nats. The Braves 2, the Phillies 2.5. Dan Uggla, 6 out of 8 career against Strasburg with 2 home runs. Hard to believe.
That last home run was a big one. It tied the game up last time out for Strasburg, and with Eric Hinsky on deck, who's a good hitter in his own right, he threw a 3-1 fastball right down the middle to Dan Uggla, and he doesn't miss those. So this is the matchup. If you're tuning in to watch this game tonight, this is the one you got to keep your eye on.
Well, he gets a strike with the changeup. Uggla wanted no part of that, and it got the knees as it crossed home plate. 2-2. That's a curveball that'll strike him out. Plenty of snap to that one, and Strasburg strikes out his first 4 batters. Bringing the heat and the flavor, here's the Cholula hot sauce pitch track.
Believe it or not, the guys on defense do have their gloves on, and they're waiting for a ball.
Yeah, this is starting to look like the king in his court softball game.
Unbelievable so far.
Eddie Feiner's okay underhand, but I'll take Strasburg overhanded. Here's Freddie Freeman. Swing and a miss. Freeman hitting .257. At least for now, finding a solution to his vision problem. We were sort of speculating last night if he might need some windshield wipers in the rain, but the game never materialized. Freddie's been battling all kind of things with contact lenses, dry eyes.
He has prescription Oakleys on. It took him a while to get the pair of glasses to Freeman. The first night he wore them, he went 3 for 5.
There's some contact, and right there's Danny Espinosa for the second out. So 4 strikeouts and a grounder brings in Jason Hayward. 2 outs here in the second.
Maybe a guy like Steven Strasburg, and you have an outing like he had last time, and he got away with it. He got the win. And we talked about earlier, you're not going to be perfect every time out there. And when you're his age, it's a learning experience every 5th day. But that's something to gnaw on for 4 days. And the guy that works as hard as he does, with as much pride as he has, and that's a tough 4 days for him. He couldn't wait to get back out there and pitch against the same team again and show these guys what he's really made of.
Yeah, first time he's ever gone back-to-back starts against the Braves. That one bounced, and it's 2-0. To Hayward, who hit only .227 last year, 50 points lower than his rookie year. And now he's still trying to find himself at .233 2 months into the season. Fastball just outside, 3-0. Bobby Cox used to have certain guys, mostly veterans, he would give what they called the privilege in Atlanta. The right to swing on 3-0. Is it blazing here? It is. And a ground ball, Espinosa. The Nats will take it. A strikeout and 2 grounders. 6 in a row for Steven Strasburg to start the game. Get your second room of flooring free at 877-241-LUNA. Brandon Beachy, first inning, 18 pitches, 10 strikes. And usually when you walk a couple of guys, you're up in the 24 to 25 pitch range, but he made some things happen and got some outs. He'll face Desmond Espinosa and Flores, bottom second for Washington.
And we talked about it in the open. The league's hitting 182 against Brandon Beachy. That's second in the National League. Hits tough to come by against this guy.
Wow. Toughest guy in the league to hit. Pitches for our ball club tomorrow. Gio Gonzalez, how about 156? Desmond did not get a first pitch fastball. He hit it right off the end of the bat. Ian is 1 for 11 career against Beachy with 6 strikeouts. Probably the toughest matchup of any pitcher he has in the National League. Target's in. I thought he might like it. He was hacking. 0-2.
And Jason Worth in the house today. We showed that lineup before the game. How about throwing his name in the middle of that somewhere? Now you're talking about a serious offense.
Yep, and pop up and down from top to bottom. Well, hopefully 2 months from today he'll be in there. Maybe earlier. Desmond hitting 264. Ian coming off a 2 for 11 series with a walk in Miami. Been very good here at home. 5 of his 8 home runs and 2/3 of his RBIs. That's a good take.
A guy like Beachy's tough. His stuff is good, but it's more about you just never know what he's going to throw. And it reminds me of another guy that used to pitch for the Braves, Greg Maddux. Maybe not the same stuff, but the way he's mixing it up right now, it's hard to think with a guy like Brandon Beachy.
That's a nasty breaking ball for his first strikeout.
You know how you're always calling pitches up here and you're watching how pitchers set up guys. You're knowing that the first 2 pitches are setting up the 3rd pitch. But right now with Beachy, I can't think with him. And if I'm not thinking with him, it's hard for those guys in the box to right now, because that was the same way with Maddux. Whatever you were looking for, he never threw it. And so far in this game, it seems to be the case with Beachy.
And a big part of that is command of all your pitches. Not afraid to throw anything in any count.
Just mixing it up, keeping you off balance. And guys used to swear that Greg Maddux was a mind reader. You sit fastball, he'd throw a changeup. You sit 2-seam fastball in, he'd throw backdoor slider. Hard to guess right with guys that are always mixing up their pitches. And for people that don't know, most hitters do guess every single count until you get to 2 strikes. It's an educated guess based on what you think he's going to throw you. But all good hitters guess until they get to 2 strikes. Then they sit fastball and adjust.
Espinosa's had good career success against Beachy most of that last year. 3 out of 8, 3 walks. Danny in the number 7 spot in front of Jesus Flores. Takes it up and away. And Flores has had hits in 8 of his last 9 games. That was before the hamstring tweak down in Atlanta last week. And good to see Jesus back in there. Nats are still carrying 3 catchers. That's right in there. Corey Brown was sent back to Syracuse when Michael Morse was reactivated yesterday. Davey Johnson's ball club trying to break a short 3-game losing streak. All happening in Miami. Still 8 games over 500. And atop the division, that's up and in 2-2.
Espinosa's going old school again. You remember that game in Atlanta against Mike Minor when he hit the big home run his first time up, the 3-run job. He had his pants up like that. Old school. I like it.
Target corner. He's going to be punched out on a pitch over the plate, low in the zone. 2 consecutive Ks for Beachy. Jesus Flores back, and Christina has more.
Bob, I talked to Jesus about that hamstring he's been dealing with. He said progressively it's been feeling better and better every day. Feels great. He's been doing some running. He's been ready to go, get back out there. There has been precaution getting him back out there, but you could see he got the start today. Davey Johnson talked today about, when you look at Jesus Flores 2 years ago, he was a great #1 catcher, a good catch and throw, an RBI guy. Had an injury, set him back, but he said, I've seen him perform at that level the last week or so, and I don't think there's a better catcher in baseball who's done a better job blocking balls and throwing them like Jesus Flores.
And we agree. Absolutely. He does it with nobody on. He does it with runners on third. And he does it the same. Nobody on or a game-winning run on third. He's blocking everything.
1 ball, 1 strike. Well, Jesus grew up idolizing Pudge Rodriguez and Andres Galarraga, so he wanted to be a good catcher, and he wanted to be a big cat pouncing on that ball.
He's got to open his stance up some more.
He's got a big guy on deck. Pitcher turned home run hitter lately, Steven Strasburg, who has 7 hits this year.
389 average, that's all. He's a big kid on your all-star team that you didn't think was 12 years old.
Yeah, dunking basketballs, throwing the ball by everybody, hitting them over the fenced fields.
He's not 12.
Two-two to Flores, hitting .263. That's a good take, and the count's full. Mets haven't had a hit yet. Couple of walks in the first inning by Harper and LaRoche. And Davey at least would love to see Strasburg get a chance to hack, at least turn that lineup over here.
And kind of what they did against Beachy Sunday in Atlanta. Ran his pitch count up and got him late.
And there are still thousands coming into the ballpark here. Some may be taking their time getting here with the concert coming up later. It'll be a long day for a lot of our fans. This place is alive today. Seems like forever since the Nationals played a home game. What was it, the last game of the Baltimore series? Almost 2 weeks ago. 3-2 again. Flores foul tips it, stays alive.
Yeah, a lot of pitches right now. 35. 69% fastball. 31% slider, curveball change. They're making them work early.
Jimmy Rollins just drove in a run. Phillies now lead the Marlins 2-0 at home. Flores hanging tough still. Well, Bryce Harper had an 8-pitch at bat to walk with 1 out in the first. This will be at least 9 for Flores. 1 inning and 2 outs later. From the first base side of the rubber, Beachy on 3-2. And he throws it by Jesus Flores and strikes out the side. On to the 3rd inning. It's going to be a pitcher's day, it appears, on a gorgeous one in D.C. a base runner yet. The Nats have had a couple. No score. Ignite your Natitude with a 5-game flex plan. Pick 4 games. Get a 5th one free. It all starts at just $60. Some restrictions apply. Check it out. Nationals.com/flex. Just a week ago, Steven Strasburg struggling at Atlanta. And as you mentioned, FP, command of the fastball was a big thing.
Yeah, good command of the changeup and the curveball. I felt like he lost confidence throughout the game with his fastball, and this was the pitch of the game, a 3-1 fastball to Dan Uggla. And even though there was a runner on first in a 2-run baseball game, guys like that don't miss pitches like that, and that tied the game up. I think if you talk about a learning experience, maybe Steven Strasburg learned that you don't have to go out there and have your great stuff and still get a win. He got the win, 6-4.
That's because the Nats would go out in the top of the 6th and get a couple of runs, driven in by Chad Tracy before he got hurt, and then Rick Ankiel, both of them pinch hitting. Here's Andrelton Simmons, the 22-year-old shortstop. He's from Mundo Novo, Curacao. And I'm pretty sure the last Brave from Curacao worked out pretty well, Andrew Jones. Second-round pick just last year. He was hitting .292 with 21 RBIs at AA Mississippi when they called him up. He gets a piece of it down to Zimmerman on the run. Who makes that play any better?
Nobody.
7 straight to start the game. And Simmons showed his speed getting down that line from the right side of the batter's box.
That's a good job by Zimmerman to know that he can run. Obviously, your clock's going off in your head. You know you don't have that much time, but I've never seen anybody throw the ball underhand so accurately. I mean, this is not sidearm. That's from underneath. And check it out. Sidearm would be somewhere above that. That's underhand. No feet on the ground, right on the money with something on it every time.
His entire body is at a 45-degree angle to the ground when he lets that ball go. Fun to watch. Now here's where Freddie Gonzalez is batting the pitcher in the 8th spot, and it's Brandon Beachy. His thinking is when they have Jose Constanza in the lineup who's on deck, he is so fast, it's like having another leadoff guy. So in essence, Gonzalez is getting his pitcher out of the way as quickly as he can to get it to Constanza, Bourne, and Prado, 3 outstanding hitters in front of Brian McCann.
And I understand the reasoning, and I get it. And it does make sense. But if I'm Constanza and I get to first base, I'm having somebody bring out my jacket.
Now that would slow him down.
There's no way I'm hitting 9th in the National League without one of my buddies right there, Eric Hinsky, Freddie Freeman, Brian McCann. One of those guys is bringing out my jacket if I get to first, hitting 9th.
I'd have him bring it out, then I'd wave him off. 2-2. Beachy 3 for 22 this year. He's a 100 career hitter. 7 hits, 70 at bats. And right by him, strikeout number 5. Nissan pitch track.
That's a challenge fastball. The opposing pitcher right down the middle, 98 miles an hour. Can't catch up. Thanks for coming.
Get to a Nissan dealer. Great deals on innovation you can count on. Innovation for all. Jose Constanza was on the opening day roster, sent to AAA on April 10th. Wasn't doing much for the Braves. Then he went down to Gwinnett, hit .288, and here he is. 28-year-old, kind of a late bloomer. Finally made it to the major leagues for 42 games last year, and he hit .303. He can give you fits with his speed.
You see that pitch right there, 97 miles an hour. And it had the same movement as his changeup. Great two-seam fastball from Strasburg. Watch the late movement on this. You think it's a changeup the way it moved. Wow. That was a fastball, 97, turbo sink. And I'd bunt too after that pitch. .38 pitches. Lots of good fastballs, lots of good curveballs and changeups.
1-2 pitch. That is a fair ball beyond the reach of Zimmerman. A fumble in left by Lombardozzi or they would have had a shot at Constanza. Maybe would have held him to a single. So the Braves get what you would call a clean base hit after Strasburg got the first 8.
And I know why he said clean base hit, because I was thinking it too, partner. He's got no-hit stuff today, and with all the strikeouts early and all 3 pitches being above average today, you were thinking it. Lombardozzi couldn't handle it. Constanza with a little hesitation around first base. That might cost Lombardozzi an error because it looked like he was going to stop.
Yeah, I thought he was too, but they gave the hitter a double. He was playing over toward the line, and a ball fielded cleanly would have held him to 1 bag. So here's Bourne, who struck out looking first time up. And so far so good for Freddie Gonzalez, batting Constanza 9th. Ball 2. Strasburg now, as you often note, off the stretch now for the first time. How does that change things?
Well, when it takes you a while to get into the stretch, and say 2 2/3 innings, now you got to find your mechanics out of the stretch.
There's the base hit. There's going to be a play at the plate, but they're going to hold him. And that's a good call by Brian Snitker at third base. Lombardozzi got the ball back in a hurry. On a one-hopper, nobody's going to score on that.
You know, it's a better call is a scouting report by the Nationals on Michael Bourne to have Steve Lombardozzi playing that far over and that shallow to prevent that run.
Well, here's where the inning really gets tough now. It's Prado, the Braves' best hitter all season. Struck out swinging first time up, but he's still hitting .330 or so.
And this is where, if you're Strasburg, you don't want to be too concerned about Bourne at first base. Yeah, throw over, let him know you're there.
14 steals in 19 attempts.
When you're going up against a guy like Brandon Beachy with a 1.77 ERA leading the league and a 182 average against, you don't have that much room for error out there. So if you get too consumed with Bourne at first base and forget about Prado and leave something out over the plate, that could be the difference in the game this early.
Well, Prado's driven in 22 runs, 16 of them in situations just like this. That's a fastball, inner half, and the count's even 1-1.
If you want to steal second base, go ahead, but I'm going to concentrate on the hitter right here and use my best stuff to get out of this jam. You start throwing over too much and worrying about that guy, now your concentration isn't where it needs to be.
Got to be careful with step-offs with a runner at third. Now it's a 1-2 count. Prado breakout year 2 years ago when he hit .307, .260 last year. He's come back with a vengeance this time. And he's been a key guy for Atlanta, setting the table for their 3-4-5s. Look at that last month, 381. What a May.
And this is where, when you have confidence in your catcher and Jesus Flores, you can spin that curveball up because you know he's going to block it.
Runner going and a pop-up. Zimmerman will yield to Desmond. Top of the third is over. Strasburg pitches around a pair of 2-out base hits. Can't afford to miss. Sign up for Masson mobile alerts by texting Nationals to 29292. Steven Strasburg comes to the plate 7 of 18 with a home run this year. And he went deep on the 4th inning against Baltimore almost 2 weeks ago.
Actually sat on this chin curveball. So he thought he was going to throw it. Got the foot down early, caught it out front. A little curtain call action. First career home run. And I think there's many more to come.
Wade Miley of Arizona has the most hits in the league by a pitcher, 9. Strasburg has 7. But Miley only has 1 extra base hit. Strasburg is an extra base hit machine with 3 doubles and a home run. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bottom of the 3rd underway.
Now, before it's all said and done, I want to stand on a tee box with Steven Strasburg and watch him grab his driver. It's supposed to be some sight to watch him pummel a golf ball. 340, 350.
Well, his dad told me he taught him how to play golf. He didn't teach him how to hit. A lot more people saw that drive. And that ball slammed off McCann's mask. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nationals still looking for their first base hit. Upstairs for the strikeout, and that's 4 straight. Strasburg struck out the first 4 batters he faced. And a reminder now, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller time later in the game. It's brought to you by Miller Lite. Perfect baseball day. May get less than perfect for the hitters here soon, as the shadows from the light standards in the third base grandstand come creeping. 75 degrees at game time. In recent years, 4 o'clock has been a game time that most major league teams have been avoiding, because Fox would often carry their games at 4 o'clock. So teams would go at 1 or at 7. But now Fox is doing so many primetime games, teams are going at either 1 or 4. And these kind of times can be not a lot of fun for hitters. We shall see. Lombardozzi flied to left first time up.
And a couple of off-speed pitches to start the at-bat up. Lombardozzi betting on the first pitch fastball. He got a couple of change-ups in a row, and Beachy showed him a fastball high there. You just never know what to think. I guess you just look for a pitch in the zone, because if you sit on something, you're going to get something else.
Yeah.
Look for something up, look for something in or out, but just pick a zone and maybe don't sit on a pitch. That's how you have to go about it when you're facing a guy like Beachy. They'll throw any pitch at any time.
Hunter Pence is at his 13th homer. Now the Phillies lead the Marlins 3-0. Bryce Harper is next here in the 3rd. And the Mets have 3 early against St. Louis. They continue to play great baseball. So the Nats are going to be entertaining the Mets here Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. How many pitches did Johan Santana throw last night? 130 some. You wonder if he will make his next start on schedule, which could affect the Nats, of course.
Yeah, maybe they bump him back a start, or a couple of days at least. I watched that last night. That was so cool.
Over 8,000 games before the Mets got their first no-hitter.
And it wasn't like he did it against a team that couldn't hit. The Cardinals can hit.
Yeah, that's the top hitting team in the league. Lombardozzi fouls one left side, and this is going out of play. It's our PNC minor league report, solutions that help you achieve. Brian Goodwin, we checked in on him earlier this year. 360 over the last week. And there's a 34th overall pick just last year.
Call him up. He's ready.
Where are you going to put him?
I don't know. I'm just saying that every time we do a minor league report for the rest of the season.
This roster's getting crowded. Lombardozzi hits it pretty well to right, but Hayward is right there. And now with 2 outs in the third, the Nationals still hunting their first base hit. Bryce Harper walked his first time on an 8-pitch at bat.
Even though Bryce Harper just faced Beachy, what was it, 6-7 days ago in Atlanta, when you face a guy this quickly again, you're still feeling him out, trying to see if his stuff was like it was last time. Is he pitching me differently than last time? Has his fastball got more on it? I guess my point is the first time up, he saw everything that Beachy had. So this time up, we've talked about his second time up this year, how he makes adjustments. This is when he does the most damage. No surprises for him. He saw it all.
That ball away. Good pitch. He pulled off 0-2. Now he goes into 2-strike mode. Bryce will hit the ball the other way a lot in situations like this. Let's see where they target. Straight change, 82.
Oh, we got a hanger right there. 2-strike curveball from Beachy. Didn't do a whole lot, just kind of rolled in there. And he just missed it. Watch this. Right down the middle.
And the count's back even now.
Still hasn't seen a fastball in this whole sequence. Curveball, changeup, changeup, curveball, change.
Well, he's battled back to 2-2 here. Target away. He takes it, and now the count's full.
Such a good take right there. 2-2 changeup. Looks like a strike most of the way. Tails away at the very end. You talk about pitch recognition. It doesn't get better than this. A lot of guys swing right through that.
Target is up and in this time, and he'll just flip it out of play off to the left side.
You talk about sticking your nose in there and battling. Bryce Harper is not afraid to get into a 3-2 count and foul some balls off and make you work. He's seen 16 pitches today. Number 17 coming.
And the fans are starting to enjoy this, as we are.
It's good stuff, man. Brandon Beachy saying to himself right now, what do I have to do to get this guy out? I've thrown my fastball in. I've thrown my fastball up. Thrown changeups away. Dropped a curveball in for strike one. Threw a curveball with 2 strikes. I guess I'm just going to rely on my catcher, McCann, right now to put down a finger, and I'll go with it because I don't know what to throw this guy.
Now almost a third of his pitches to Bryce Harper today. What a walk. What an at-bat. And Bryce Harper's on first base again.
Guys that have played in the league for 10 years and won batting titles don't have at-bats like that. And Beachy just kind of looked over to first base like, all right.
So I got to deal with you for the next 10 years, huh? Ryan Zimmerman hit the ball sharply, lined out to Costanza in left center first time. Harper inching off. He's got a pretty good lead. His front foot was as far as the cutout of the grass. He took his allotted steps off of there, so now we know that's about where the big lead is located. Not there yet.
You just feel like whoever scores first in this ball game wins. And you know it's only the bottom of the third inning, but if Bryce Harper can find a way to get himself into scoring position right here. Ryan Zimmerman hit a hard line drive to left field his first time up. You just never know. Beachy very quick to the plate. So you're going to have to get a good jump.
And the Braves are playing Zimmerman 100 feet off the left field line. Anything down in the corner could score Harper. That's going to be chopped out to the shortstop. And Simmons to Ugla. The inning over. Nationals have stranded 3 runners onto the middle innings. Scoreless. Has the better of it right now. And Strasburg's given up a couple. Jose Costanza continues to hit well against the Nats after his recent call-up. But it's all about the pitchers as we previewed today.
Yeah, we talked about it early. Just a treat to see these two guys go at it. The rain delay moved Mike Minor back for the Braves, and that allowed Brandon Beachy to go up against Steven Strasburg, and so far as advertised.
That was our Cox game summary. Enjoy a new way to watch TV with Cox TV Connect on your iPad. Brian McCann struck out first time. You know, and the thing about McCann,
he can hit,
but he struck out first time. He'll get his licks, though. This guy doesn't get cheated. And that's inside 2-1.
Yeah, we've been talking about the stuff for Steven Strasburg so far in this game, but how about the mound presence? In Atlanta, the body language, probably not the best he's ever had. The tempo, probably not the best he's ever had. But today, standing up there with authority, grabbing the ball, getting it and throwing it. You just like what you see about how he's acting on the mound today with his tempo and his presence. Good communication there. You saw LaRoche peel off. He's going away from first base, and Danny Espinosa made the call. Got it to Strasburg covering. Well done by the right side of the infield. Now version number 2 of the day's matchup. Here at a full ballpark. As Dan Ugla steps in, Strasburg froze him on a 2-strike curveball first time up. And that's the pitch he struck him out with. He gets strike 1 with it here. Then he goes change up and has Ugla waving at it. Then he goes change up again.
Strikeout number 6, Ugla twice.
6 for 8 with 2 home runs coming into this game, 7 RBIs. Today 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts, and you can't pitch a guy any better than this. Look at the changeup grip right there from Strasburg. I think when you talk about the elite pitchers in the league, the Justin Verlanders, yeah, fastball, curveball, probably the same, but I think the thing that separates maybe Steven Strasburg from everybody else is that pitch right there, the changeup.
Here's Freddie Freeman. Steven goes to work on him with a fastball.
And Chipper Jones said as much in the newspaper when we were in Atlanta. He said Strasburg with that changeup, that devastating changeup that at times is unhittable, that's what separates him from everybody else in baseball. And when you got a Hall of Famer saying that about you, that's saying something. And Steve McCaddy is absolutely digging what he's seeing from Strasburg. Maybe not the strikeouts or the stuff, but just the pace, the tempo, and how he's standing on the mound, carrying himself great.
Swing and a miss. 3 consecutive fastballs to Freddie Freeman. Adam LaRoche, Michael Morris, and Ian Desmond coming up in a scoreless game.
A scoreless ball game, and there's been a lot of anticipation about the return of Michael Morse, especially from his teammates. I talked to Adam LaRoche about what Morse's bat brings to the offense and how it affects everybody else in the lineup.
It's a long time. Everybody knows we've been needing it. This offense has been good at times, but obviously missing a big piece, in the middle of it. So having Mikey back, sounds like he's healthy. Talked to him a little bit this morning, and he says he's feeling great. So get him back in there, and, we all know what he can do in the middle of the lineup.
I asked Michael Morse about how the support from his teammates have been during his rehab, and he said, I've missed these guys. They don't realize I need them more than they need me. When you're on a winning team, you just want to get out there and be a part of it and contribute.
Well, hopefully that will happen today. That's our AFCEA Sideline Report with Christina. Visit AFCEA.org, the Association for IT Pros. Adam LaRoche walked for the 28th time this year, first time up. 6th in the league in walks.
Adam LaRoche wondering right now, is that as low as we're going to go? Is that the bottom of the zone? He thought those last 2 fastballs were down.
Beachy on 1 and 2. Well hit, left center. Heading for the gap, but Constanza is there. You have to hit a laser to get it in between Constanza and Bourne. Especially when that little guy in left field's playing way off the line. So still no hits for the Nats. And here comes Michael Morse. Michael made a really interesting comment around his locker yesterday. He said at about the end of spring training, he felt like he was ready to play, but he wasn't feeling 100%. And his teammate Rick Ankiel got a hold of him and said, look, man, if you're not 100%, do not go out there if you don't think you can play 9 innings and do it effectively. That's a busted bat out to Andrelton Simmons, 2 outs. And Mike said he took that advice to heart, and he appreciates Rick Ankiel helping him out there. Now that he's back, he's 100%. He's ready to go, because that's an injury that mostly afflicts pitchers. It's a tendon, Mike said, right between the lat and the shoulder back there. And it's something that a pitcher usually runs into, not a position player.
He tore it off the bone. I think it was the teres minor.
That's it.
And like you said, it's something that happens to pitchers, and he didn't know he hurt it until he went to throw a baseball. He tore it off the bone, and that's what took so long to heal and get him back.
Shadows creeping. 2 outs, bottom of the 4th. Ian Desmond for the Nats struck out swinging first time. He'll be on the attack early if he sees anything close. He got a first pitch changeup.
So first pitch change, second pitch slider. You just bet fastball right here? You almost have to. He's throwing it 93, 94.
There it is. And unfortunately for the Nats, about 5 feet foul into the corner. AT&T fact of the game. After 50 games, 3rd time in franchise history in first, but the first time here in D.C. It's been a long time coming.
Well, it's the first time that they've had better uniforms than the 79 and 80 Expos. I know that.
You like those?
The clown suits? I guess so now.
One ball and 2 strikes. Desmond had a pretty good rip at 91. Marlins have picked up 2 runs, and they trail at Philadelphia, middle innings, 3-2.
Almost easier to hit off a guy like Beachy with 2 strikes, because early in the count you might not be thinking along with him. But in a 2-strike count as a hitter, you're more reactionary, meaning you're looking for the fastball, but you're ready for everything else.
Bouncer up the middle. Way behind second base. Aguilar safe at first. And the Nats have their first base hit.
And there goes the no-hitter. It took 3 2/3 today. Brandon Beachy's got it going on a little bit, but Ian Desmond did a nice job at a 2-strike count of staying on a curveball, and Dan Uggla did a nice job of getting rid of it, but couldn't get anything on it, and that allowed the speedy Desmond to reach. So an infield single, the first hit today for the Nationals.
That keeps it alive for Danny Espinosa here in the 4th.
If you guess right early in the count and get him, that's one thing. But sometimes, even though you're sitting fastball, you swing in a changeup, you put it in play. So you'll ask hitters, they don't like to generally hit in a 2-strike count, but against a guy that throws everything for a strike and it's all above average. Slider's good today, curveball's good, changeup, fastball are good. You get into 2-strike count, you just spread out and you're waiting for anything. If Ian Desmond can get a curveball to run on here, even though Beachy's quick to the plate, he can steal second.
Espinosa unable to catch up with 91. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, first time up, Beachy froze Espinosa with a fastball right down the middle with 2 strikes. Let's see if he tries to get tricky right here. Goes back to the well with that same fastball.
Target inner half. Desmond this year, 6 of 8 stealing. He's running. Espinosa way out ahead, had to swing. It was a strike.
And that was the curveball. Nice job being Desmond. Wait until he can get into a curveball count to get to second base. And generally speaking, you like to see your base stealers get to second early in the count with 2 outs. But against a guy like Brandon Beachy, it doesn't really provide you with much of an opportunity. You'll go when you can take it. And right there was the first curveball that Ian Desmond got. To give you an extra step or so with the off speed.
Yeah, and that was his ERA at the start of the game. Right now, the scoreboard has him at 1.68 after 3 scoreless innings and 2 more outs here in the 4th. So some of the best pitchers in the league on display in this series. Strasburg tonight, Gonzalez tomorrow, and Beachy doing his thing. Espinosa strikes out for the second time. The Nats have stranded 4 runners. Finally got that first base hit. No score after 4. DynCorp International, we serve today for a better tomorrow. Wonderful tradition here at the ballpark every single game with our Wounded Warriors. And this one on to the top of the 5th inning. Hayward, Simmons, and Beachy. There's another concert after today's. The Wallflowers will be here in 6 weeks. July 21st. That's after a 7 o'clock game against the Braves. Second of 3 post-game concerts. Tickets start at just $10. Nationals.com/concerts to check it out. 56 pitches, 37 strikes. Steven Strasburg so far. So right at 14 pitches per inning. Last year, in his last 5 starts of the season, when he had that 150 ERA, he was able to come off the DL, off his rehab, and throw 13.7 pitches per inning as an average. And for a guy who throws a lot of strikes, gets a lot of strikeouts, that's a really great number. Hayward bounced out to Espinosa first time. Trying to paint 2-1.
And bounced out to Espinosa on a 3-0 pitch.
Yeah, you're right. They gave him the green light. The young shortstop Andrelton Simmons is next. And then the pitcher, because he's batting eighth. That ball is rocked. LaRoche got a piece of it. Hayward's going to make a turn and stop. And that'll be his first hit and the Braves' third.
Yeah, that was a rocket off the bat of Jason Hayward. I was wondering if he was going to test Michael Morse's arm right there. Yeah, Morse's arm is reportedly fine. He's throwing the ball well, but I don't think there's anything Adam LaRoche can do with this. That ball was on him before he could blink an eye. Looks easy in Expo, super slow motion. I guarantee you that ball was over 100 miles an hour coming off the bat.
You see that thing turn his first baseman's mitt?
He almost took it with him into right field.
Andrelton Simmons will be next. He was retired on the good charging play by Zimmerman first time. Shadows from the light standards on the field now.
And this is where I think if you're Freddie Gonzalez, you have to try to create something for your ball club. You got your guy out there, Brandon Beachy. He's absolutely dealing right now. You're facing a guy in Steven Strasburg who's doing the same. And these type of ball games, especially with the shadows creeping, it's going to be tough to hit here in about 20 or 30 minutes. You got to try to manufacture a run, whether you start your runner, whether you bunt a guy over.
Hot shot. Desmond, what a pick. Espinosa with a good turn. 6-4-3 go the Nats. Their 35th double play of the year on a ball that was really hit hard.
Yeah, a couple of hard hit balls in a row off Steven Strasburg. And maybe if you start the runner right here, you get the middle infielders moving around. But Gonzalez decided to play it straight. It's into the 6-4-3 double play, and Strasburg's fired up, giving his defense some love.
Bases empty, 2 outs, and now the pitcher coming up. Beachy struck out swinging first time.
Even if you go hit and run right there with the pitcher on deck, you still have a guy in Constanza that showed that he can handle Strasburg his first time up. So at the very least, you have a runner on second base if the hit and run goes as planned.
And you get the pitcher out of the way, you still have a chance to score. There's Jesus Flores with nobody on, playing that breaking ball as if the sacks were loaded or if there's a guy at third base. Good habits to get into. And a swing and a miss. Strikeout number 8 in 5 innings for Steven Strasburg. The double play helps economize the top of the 5th. Beautiful day for a boat ride and a better day for a ball game. It'll be Flores, Strasburg, and Lombardozzi for the Nats in the bottom of the 5th inning. Geico President's Race. Teddy led for a long, long time, and a very predictable result.
It is so much better than the starfish, shark, squid thing we saw in Florida.
Yeah.
The squid always loses. That's the Teddy down there.
And then we had the running tools in Atlanta. We have the pierogies in Pittsburgh. And in Milwaukee, they're having a good laugh about all of it. Bottom 5. Jesus Flores struck out swinging it first time up. Beachy 77 pitches to get through 4 innings, though. So the Nats have made him work long and hard. 3 walks, only 1 hit. Now, the fact that Ross Detwiler is warming up doesn't mean necessarily he's coming into the game. He could be warming up for the 7th inning. He's an ex-starter. He could be warming up for the 8th. Who knows?
Good call.
But Strasburg, having thrown 70 pitches in 5 innings, we were a little surprised to see Jim Lett pick up that phone and signal for Ross Detwiler. So Beachy's at 80 pitches in just over 4 innings.
Well, you would think this is the time you cash in if you're the Nationals. You're going back through the order here when Lombardozzi comes up for the 3rd time. Although he's mixed things up nice, all 4 pitches have been strikes in any count. That 3rd time through the order, especially when your pitch count is that high, becomes the toughest.
Flores hits the ball well to left center. It is at the wall and into the bullpen. The Nationals lead 1-0. Jesus Flores, 2nd of the year. The 5th homer given up by Beachy in over 70 innings.
And really the first mistake of the day from Brandon Beachy, and Flores was all over it. You just had a feeling this ball game that whoever scored first, whoever cracked the ice first, had a good shot of winning the way these 2 guys are pitching. Strasburg's thinking back-to-back.
Yes, he was.
Check it out. Fastball up in the zone, and Flores all over it, 91 miles an hour. Beachy finally got one up, and Flores made him pay the price. And the wind, folks, is blowing in from left today, so he really had to get that one to ride it out of here.
Yeah, the wall's about 380 to 85 where it went out. It deflected off the side wall of the bullpen. So Jesus with his 2nd of the year and the 19th of his career.
When he hit it, you're thinking, that's out of here. And then you look at the flags and you say, uh-oh. But he kept it low enough to get himself a home run.
2 balls, 1 strike. Nationals 48th homer of the year.
A good point, partner. You talk about the pitch count. All of a sudden, everything for Beachy's up. 86 pitches to this point. He may be feeling it a little bit. His fastball's been down for the majority of the day. His off-speed's been down, and now the fastball command is gone. Another one up.
Strasburg will pop it up first baseline. Ugla looking at Hayward for help, and he comes over to get it. First out in the 5th inning. You can buy Nationals game-used, autographed, and team-issued memorabilia. It's available here at every Nationals home game. Check out the area behind section 112, 113. For more info, email memorabilia@nationals.com. So top of the order now with Lombardozzi coming up. 0 for 2 with a pair of fly balls, 1 to left, 1 to right. Lays down a bunt. Too hard, though. Prado able to make the play with his glove. 2 outs. Big crowd today. Just got something to cheer about when Jesus Flores hit the home run. Bob Carpenter, FP Santangelo, Christina Acra, Masson HD on Saturday, June 2nd. Nats were 14-8 in April, 15-13 in May.
Heads up right here. This will be the 90th pitch from Brandon Beachy. You got a guy that's seen 18 pitches, 19 counting that one, his first 2 at-bats. So he's seen everything that Brandon Beachy has to offer. A hot hitter with a good idea. And 1-0, Bryce Harper sitting fastball all the way. Brandon Beachy says, not so fast, I'm going to give you a change.
Harper laces one left field line. On a hop, picked up by Constanza. Bryce is going, and he gets around the tag, but Ugla gets him anyway. Calculated risk with 2 outs. Tried to get around it, and Constanza throws him out. So the Nats with a couple of hits in the inning. Jesus Flores goes deep, his second of the year, and it's on to the 6th for Strasburg and the Nats, now working with a lead for the first time. To you by AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. And by your Washington, D.C. BMW centers. From a Nats dog out in the outfield to a Nats catcher behind home plate, a mighty blast by Flores, who's now hit safely in 9 of his last 10 games. So here's the Braves box score. We go top of the 6th. And nothing of harm so far. Constanza the double. Bourne the base hit in the 3rd. And then the Hayward base hit leading off the 5th. Wiped out on the double play. Here's Jose Constanza. Well, here's what Freddie Gonzalez is looking for when he bats the pitcher 8th. If the inning ends where it did last inning, he's got Constanza, Bourne, and Prado. 3 quality guys with speed to lead off here. Strasburg, 5 innings, 70 pitches, 45 strikes. Constanza, by the way, in the minor leagues never hit lower than 278. 278 A ball, actually double A. 2 years at Akron, then 319 at Triple A, 312 288, originally with Cleveland, playing at Akron and Columbus. And then the Braves got him as a minor league free agent in November of 2010. So he's bounced around for a lot of years. 9+ years in the minor leagues. And a bouncer that Strasburg will field, and then right over to LaRoche for a very important first out.
Let's check out Bryce Harper trying to stretch a single into a double one more time. And I love the fact that he plays hard. And when you take chances on the bases and you're fearless, this is going to happen. You're going to run into some outs, but you're also going to catch some guys sleeping like he did in Atlanta. And I love the fact that he's playing hard. And when 2 outs, that's a good gamble. I'm not so sure that Ugla got him with the tag right there.
A bunt by Bourne. Zimmerman, look at this! Running right down the third base line, almost ending up in the batter's box. 2 outs.
I put a couple of stars by that one. And I think if you run down there and ask Ryan Zimmerman right now, he'd rather make this play than the routine play. He's so comfortable with the running play, especially the bunt. And that's a good bunt, folks, because you see how it takes Ryan Zimmerman toward the third baseline away from first base? That's a good bunt, hugging the line. Zimmerman with the underhand flip throw, getting rid of it quick, right on the money. LaRoche, that's one of the fastest guys in the big leagues, and that wasn't even close.
That's on the outside corner. Prado 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a pop up to short. And he will hack it in the air out to center field. Bryce Harper, he found it, had his hands up in the air as if he had trouble with the sun for a moment. And a very quick 6th inning for Steven Strasburg. For the Nats. This day in history from Ocean City, Maryland. Go to OCOcean.com. Click on Summer of Thanks. Special deals and discounts available. And Babe Ruth would announce his retirement on this day in 1935. At the age of 40. So Beachy, through 5 innings, the Nats have his pitch count way up there again. Zimmerman is lined out to left and bounced out to short. Ball is well hit to center, and Bourne got it, going straight back. How many of those is Ryan Zimmerman going to have happen to him this year?
That's 2 hard-hit balls today for Ryan Zimmerman, both outs. First time up line drive to Constanza in left field, sending back. And this one, Bourne misjudged, but had the makeup speed to go get the baseball. A lot of outfielders, when they have a bad read right that initially, don't have enough speed to make up for it. But Bourne did, got back. You see the extension, and he held on to it with the landing. Nice play.
Appreciated by his hurler. And here's Adam LaRoche. He's walked and lined out to left. Off speed had him way out ahead. Well, suddenly the Marlins making some noise against Cole Hamels. Hanley Ramirez has hit 2 home runs, his 9th and 10th, and they just scored 2 more in the 6th. They lead 4-3 at Philadelphia after trailing 3-0 early. Mets at home still leading St. Louis 3-0, 5th inning in the tightly bunched NL East. Michael Morse has hit the ball to shortstop twice today. Ian Desmond to follow. And LaRoche is going to be called out. Strikeout number 6 for Brandon Beachy. Check it on the Nissan. Pitch track.
Definitely a pitcher's strike right here for Brandon Beachy. Change up down in the zone. Pitch track has it at the bottom of the strike zone. LaRoche has been thinking the ball has been called to strike low on him all day long. I think when you miss as much time as Michael Morse had, the last thing to come back is your strike zone. When you've been out for a while, your timing takes a minute. But everything else probably feels pretty good for him, especially the injury part. But the strike zone recognition, balls and strikes, probably the last thing to come. And that's going to take a minute. Yeah. That might take 30 at-bats. That might take 40 at-bats to recognize, you know, pitch location, ball or strike. And I'm sure Rick Eckstein's going to help him with it. But the only way you can help yourself is by getting at bats.
Yeah, then you get out there, your first game back, it's a 4 o'clock game, and by your 3rd at bat, the batter's eyes in the blazing sun, there's shadows on the pitcher, and darkness around home plate.
That monster 2011, 31 homers.
And you look at those numbers from 10, you could kind of see it coming if he got the at bats. That was, of course, as a first baseman last year. Now the count's 2-2. Nats box score shows only 3 hits, 2 of them last inning. And the big blow of the game, the leadoff homer, Jesus Flores in the 5th. He's now 3 for 6 career against Beachy. Michael waited for that ball, hit it sharply, and Drelton Simmons to his left. Well, the Braves were right. That's a good-looking young shortstop. This one on to the late innings now. 1-0 Nats. in a one-run ball game for Steven Strasburg. You can ignite your attitude with a 5-game flex plan. Pick 4 games, get a 5th one free. Nationals.com/flex. Some of the plans start as low as $60. Fans paid their way in today, seeing great pitching on both sides. 1-3-0 Nats, 0-3-0 Braves. McCann's 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground ball to the right side.
I think if Steven Strasburg can cruise through this inning, 81 pitches right now, he's got a shot to smell the finish line today, to see the finish line. But this is the inning where if he can get through this part of the order, it's looking good. And as soon as that shadow goes all the way over the mound, now it's going to be tough to pick up rotation for the hitter.
Goes off speed, 3-1. You weren't getting a 3-1 fastball, were you? Great changeup there. Strasburg doing today what he did in each of his first 7 starts, and that's completing at least 6 innings. That ball right off the hands, nothing you can do about that. McCann drops it into left field, and the Braves have their second leadoff hit in 7 innings. Strasburg's last 3 starts hasn't gone beyond 5, so he's trending well today.
He's never pitched longer than 7 innings in his career. I went 7 innings twice this season. So if he can get through this inning, and this doesn't help right here, a little doinker off the bat of Brian McCann, he's looking good.
3rd inning was a long one when they had the pair of 2-out hits. Other than that, pretty efficient. And the 6th inning, a thing of beauty with 3 contact outs made in a hurry. Dan Uggla, I don't think he's bunting, so that could be a double play, and it will be a double play. Desmond turns it with Espinosa, 6-4-3.
Pitcher's best friend, especially when you're into the 7th inning, and that was your 86th pitch of the game. All of a sudden, it looks like the Braves are in business in a 1-run game here in the 7th. They get their leadoff man on in the form of Brian McCann, but a first pitch fastball to Dan Uggla, 6-4-3 double play. Thank you very much.
Freddie Freeman is 0 for 2. He's grounded out and struck out. The last man, Strasburg, struck out, and the only one since the 4th inning is the pitcher Beachy, and that's just fine. Tailing fastball, 98. And Strasburg has been working Freddie Freeman over with fastballs.
What you're seeing right here is a pitcher smelling the finish line. He wants to finish this baseball game. It's just a matter of if Davey Johnson will let him.
Well, a quick 7th inning could be a major step in that direction.
And there's going to have to be a day when this guy throws a complete game, and it could be today.
Swing and a miss on 97, way outside. The outs keep on coming from Steven Strasburg. 9 Ks today. Time to stretch. 1-0 Nats. Flores coming up bottom 7. Out hit by the Braves 4-3 thanks to a couple of double play balls. Strasburg in total command here, 1-0 Washington.
And just like we promised early in the game, and we'll promise after the game for the Big and Rich concert, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. And let's have a little game of you take my hit, I'll take yours. Ryan Zimmerman on the bunt from Michael Bourne. Took a hit away from him. Pretty good bunt right there. And Ryan Zimmerman says, you know what? I'm going to try to hit one over your head, Michael Bourne. And Michael Bourne says, not so fast, my friend. You just robbed me. I'm robbing you. And that's how you play the game, folks. If I'm not hitting, you're not hitting. And you take my hit, I'm going to take yours.
Well, nobody ever said this game was fair, that's for sure. Not to hitters. Desmond 1 for 2, got the Nats their first base hit. A bouncer over the mound beyond the second base bag with 2 outs in the 4th. Braves have Johnny Venters and Chad Durbin. There's a lefty in the Nats bullpen now. Sean Burnett's starting to work. Hayward is the leadoff man in the 8th. Strasburg's at 90 pitches. And he's gone well beyond that a couple of times this year. Stevens' most recent outing, 95. 103 at Pittsburgh, 101 at the Dodgers, and 108 at New York. That ball's out of play right side, 1-2.
I mean, there's 2 ways Davey Johnson could go with this thing with Steven Strasburg. He could shut him down right now and let him have a great taste in his mouth at a good outing. Or you always flirt with, you know, if you have a rough inning, that pitch count can get up there in a hurry, especially when it's at where it's at right now.
But it is the bottom of the order coming up. That's a consideration.
I mean, personally, from a fan standpoint, I'd love to see him go back out there. I just don't know if he's going to.
Yeah, I think we're all thinking, turn him loose.
Let him go.
Inside, 3-2 to Desmond. This could be a good situation for the Nats. Davey doesn't bunt with Espinosa a lot. But if Ian could get aboard, that may be how you tack on another very important run.
If you remember early in the season, though, Davey's MO with the young starting staff was when he felt like they had enough, regardless of the pitch count, he wanted to have a good vibe when they came off the mound, a good feeling about their outing.
On a ball down and in, Desmond hits it a long way. Right center, Bourne there, short of the track for the out. So now Espinosa and Flores in the 7th. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Washington Nationals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Washington Nationals. Danny Espinosa has struck out twice today, 63 times on the year.
And that's a view you have right now if you're a hitter, with the ball coming out of the sun and turning dark quickly.
Isn't that fun?
And the advantage obviously to the pitcher, and you can see fastball because the ball just kind of turns gray right now. But what you can't see is the seams on the ball to where you're picking up off speed, curveball, changeup. That's what the hitter relies on, seeing the rotation, the seams, and right now you can't see that. Just kind of a gray baseball, and so far Danny Espinosa's seen 2 in the dirt.
Will he see a fastball on 2-0? Yeah, he will. Pretty good pitch, outer half. Cholula bringing the heat.
And Cholula just nipped the corner for strike 1.
Jesus Flores, the home run guy, is next.
There's the offense right there.
And a big part of the defense, too. Handling Strasburg beautifully today. 3-1 pitch. And a good eye. Danny draws a one-out walk here in the 7th. Jesus Flores last time, he went towering to left center.
Yeah, 5th inning, got a fastball up in the zone. It was the first mistake by Brandon Beachy all day. You saw the location for Brian McCann, supposed to be down and in. The fastball was up and away. Flores got extended and went against traffic right there. Wind blowing in from left field. Checked in with his 2nd home run of the year, and it was a huge one.
Brandon Beachy gives the Nats only 3 hits. And every time a National hits a home run, the Washington area elects his dealers. $200 donated to the Children's National Medical Center. And we thank them for that. To the Atlanta bullpen. This call to the pen is packaged by the UPS store. We love logistics. Durbin on the way. Or actually tomorrow afternoon, 1:35 game. He's 5-4, coming off a loss against St. Louis. And then there's Gio. How about this guy? 5 in a row. Nats are 9-1 in his starts. He is a 7-1, 2.04 ERA guy, and one of the toughest pitchers to hit in all of baseball, with an opponent's batting average of 156. So send up 100 batters, he'll retire 84.5 of them. How good is that?
That half guy's really short.
Yeah. As are most hitters against Gio Gonzalez. Here's Durbin, who is at spring training with the Nats. And he throws to Jesus Flores and misses. Signed by the Braves to a 1-year deal on April 2nd. The same day the Nats let him go. And they also, of course, have former Nat Livan Hernandez in that bullpen.
Roger Bernardina in the on-deck circle. And that's going to do it for Steven Strasburg today.
I wonder if Flores hits the ball out of the park, if that changes anything.
Now, once you shut a guy down, he's shut down. You can't tell a guy he's done and then all of a sudden tell him he's going again. That's a proud papa right there, Steve McCaddy. They did a lot of work between last start and this start to get things right, and the results today were awesome.
Flores' career against Durbin, mostly in his days with the Phillies, 0 for 4. So it looks like Burnett for the 8th, and then you would figure Clippard for the 9th.
Durbin, a 4-pitch guy. Fastball, cutter, curveball, change. Fastball in the low 90s. Cutter will run up in there in the high 80s. Curveball in the 70s.
Runner going. Bad throw. Really bad. Espinosa had to come back and tag the bag. I'm not sure he got it until way after his slide. So Danny gets the steal. And for Espinosa this year, he is now 6 out of 9.
I'm wondering, with all the rain yesterday and the drying agents put on the field, that was a hit and run all the way, seeing Espinosa look in. that the field isn't playing a little bit quick. That's the second national, Bryce Harper being the first one that slid past the bag. And I think if Espinoza gets the bag initially, that ball rolled far enough away for him to advance to third base with one out. But the fact that he couldn't put the brakes on and almost slid into left field kept him from going to third.
Now the Nats have 2 shots to make it a 2-run lead.
That diamond drive they put on the field is like a bunch of BBs. It just sits on top of the dirt, and it makes the infield hard and fast.
So it's like sliding on ball bearings, huh?
It is.
Hey, Flores is on base again. Another good day for Jesus. And that is the 5th walk issued by the Braves today. And Strasburg is done as Bernardina hits for him.
And how about the night Roger Bernardina had the other night in Miami? Hadn't got a start in a while, came off the bench. Sacrifice flies, first time up, line drive, straightaway center field. Barreled up a couple of baseballs, made a great play in right field. And that's not easy to do, folks, when you haven't played in a while and you finally get a start. But right now, Roger Bernardina is going to see a lefty, and I wonder if Davey Johnson counters with a righty.
Well, he could with Xavier Nady. So done after one batter is Chad Derman. And here comes hard-throwing Johnny Venters. That treat on a warm day.
Use your hands. Come on.
Just dive in. Come
Use
on.
your hands.
Get after it. There you go. Blueberry at the red, white, and blue ballpark. What's the score there, buddy? Take the Nats with you everywhere we go when you are out of market. HD quality on your favorite device. Every out-of-market game live online. Visit Nationals.com to check it out and to order MLB.tv. Baseball everywhere. So it's Johnny Venters now for his 24th appearance. 26 strikeouts in 20 innings. But he has walked 9 at times, struggling with his command. And now Xavier Nady bats for Roger Bernardina. Heartbreaking ball down and in. How about X-Man lately as a pinch hitter? 3 for 8 overall with a home run, 2 for his last 4.
Yeah, been locking it in. He's going to see a slider from Venters, a fastball in the mid-90s, and he'll throw an occasional changeup, but pretty much fastball slider.
That ball hitting McCann's gear, and it just rifles into the camera bay. Is that one base or 2? The Nationals dugout is waving the runner home from second base. And Brian McCann is hurt.
Johnny Venters crossed him up and hit him in the kneecap with a fastball.
Wow.
And with the shadows, McCann had no chance to stop that baseball. In a night game, you can see that he crossed you up and you might be able to get to the ball, but with the shadows right now, if you cross a guy up, it can be deadly. And right now for the Braves, it is. Brian McCann got hit right in the kneecap, and it doesn't matter if you have gear on or not. When it's a mid-90s fastball, that can do some serious damage to your knee.
Like the Nationals, the Braves are carrying 3 catchers. They have David Ross and J.C. Boscan, who was called up when the Nats were in Atlanta last week. And this could be a really big blow to them.
I don't think he got any leather on this at all. Let's check it out.
Wow. That ball left the field like it had been hit by a bat.
Look at, he's reaching for the slider where it's gonna break. Gets him right on the left kneecap. And the runners advance right there. If that ball stays in play, that's a run. But because it went in the dugout, the runners have to stay at second and third, because there's no way that Brian McCann was getting up to get that baseball. And maybe 2 guys score. You never know.
Yeah, he's going to stay in for now. Tim Hudson next to David Ross there. And the count, by the way, to Xavier Nady, 1 ball, 1 strike. Man, how tough do those guys have to be?
I don't know.
He kind of looks like a guy, FP, that should come out of the game, but he doesn't want to.
Yeah, and we saw him the other night in Atlanta when he had the flu, sucking it up for the ball club in a game where he was pretty much green in the face at the plate every single at bat. It's the sickest he's ever felt in his life, and I guarantee you he's having that same sort of feeling right now. If you ever got kicked in the knee, you know that feeling, and I don't know if he's going to continue right here.
And this is critical for the Braves. If he makes one mistake, the Nats get a run or 2 here. They're going to have to bring in David Ross. Brian McCann tried to gut it out.
I would imagine they're going to go x-ray that thing right now.
So here in the bottom of the 7th, David Ross will take over behind the plate. Very good defensive catcher, good bat. Probably, I'd say, one of the top 3 or 4 backup catchers in the National League easily.
Yeah, absolutely solid back there defensively. He'll run into a ball offensively every now and then, hit you a home run. You talk to the Braves pitchers, they love throwing at this guy too.
Tomorrow, 1:30, and our friends from DC 50 will be with us, Tommy Hanson and Gio Gonzalez. The Mets are in 4-3 after the off day Monday. And then it's on to Fenway Park on Friday. We'll give you the pitching matchups for the New York series tomorrow, probably after we find out what the Mets are going to do with Johan Santana. And then Interleague is back next weekend. The Nats on a 6-game trip to Boston and Toronto. So Xavier Nady against Johnny Venters with a count of 1 ball, 1 strike. Infield in, outfield around to the right. And a couple of huge runs sitting out there.
You would think Johnny Venters has to be rattled after that.
Outside 2-1. That was off speed.
You cross your starting catcher up. You smoke him in the kneecap. He has to leave the game, and now you got to get out of this jam.
Nady 0 for 1 career against this lefty. Nats trying to double or triple their lead here. Strike 2. And now, just as FP mentioned about the reaction time of Brian McCann, the same thing kicks in for Xavier Nady here. A guy who throws extremely hard. Your time to identify the pitch, location, and react very quick.
The most important thing you can do as a hitter in the shadows is keep your head frozen. Keep your head still. And the most important thing, if you're David Ross, is to have the right glove on.
Yeah, he's going to his 2-strike mid here. Interesting.
Hey, you get that 911 emergency call on the bench, your heart starts to flutter, you're throwing the gear on, you're running all over. It looks like a fire sale in there. You get into a baseball game, sometimes you grab your practice picker instead of your gamer.
2-2 with 1 out. Nady will take it way outside. Big crowd starting to clap in rhythm for a rally here. The Nats only have 3 hits all day, but they lead. Espinosa third, Flores at second. 3-2 pitch. Nady fights it off. Interesting on that pitch. Andrelton Simmons, the shortstop, playing almost halfway, came walking into the edge of the infield grass as the pitch was delivered.
He's trying to get his rhythm. You start back and just kind of creep in so you're on the move and you're on your toes, because when you get to that grass, trust me, it's coming at you fast.
Nady drives one to right field. That ball headed for the wall. It'll short hop the wall. Espinosa scores. Flores holds up at third. It's a double by Xavier Nady. The Nats lead 2-0.
And how clutch was that? And Chad Tracy, that one's for you. Xavier Nady off the bench. Goon Squad contributor today in the shadows, off a guy that throws mid-90s with a nasty slider. Xavier Nady with a big at-bat right there. And I thought the Nats caught a break when that ball stayed in the ballpark, but Jesus Flores was tagging up on second base.
Yeah, not an easy read for the base runners. So Flores only goes 90 feet on a double. But here's a good contact man, Lombardozzi, and this is interesting. He's only had 18 at-bats right-handed this year. 2 hits with an RBI. But he's a very good contact man, liable to put the ball in play.
The general rule of thumb is when you're running second base with 1 out, you're halfway to third if you're not sure. With nobody out, you're tagging up to advance to third with 1 out. But with 1 out, if you see a guy going back, you got to be past shortstop. If he catches it, you go back.
By the way, Lombardozzi, 18 at-bats. He's made contact 17 times. Suicide squeeze, and he fouls it over the screen. Flores was on his way from third base.
I've seen more squeezes this year than probably the last 3 or 4 years combined.
How about the last couple of weeks?
Yeah. The Braves did it to the Nationals. The Phillies did it to the Nationals. The Nationals did it the other day, and Davey just tried again. It's 4 squeezes in about 2 weeks.
Trying to buy runs wherever you can. 1 ball, 1 strike. He's coming again. The ball is fouled. 2 consecutive suicide squeeze pitches by the Nats. And that was a tough one for Lombardozzi. He did well, FP, just to foul that ball off in on his hands.
And when you think about it, that's genius. Whoever squeezes twice in a row, there's no way you pitch out. It's a great call by Davey Johnson. Now Lombardozzi's got a battle in a 2-strike count. Let's check out the pitch. He got a good pitch to Bond. That's got to be put in play.
And here's the other thing. He's confident that even with 2 strikes, Lombardozzi can make contact and get an RBI. That ball will get away, but it's up the line right toward the runner. Good stop by David Ross, and the count's 2-2.
And this is only the second time you and I have seen Johnny Venters this year, but compared to last year, his slider was unhittable.
Yeah.
It was about 90 miles an hour. It dropped off a table. You couldn't even recognize it was a slider. It was almost like a Gio Gonzalez curveball, but harder. And this year it's just kind of rolling in there. It doesn't have a lot on it.
And that was to righties and lefties last year. Lombardozzi taps it foul.
I mean, as a hitter, just to get that sign's pretty good, because if you're looking down to Bo Porter at third base and you just did a squeeze and he puts it on again, you're thinking, did he really just put that on again? Huh? Are we going to do 2 squeezes in a row? So give everybody some credit for getting the sign.
Lombardozzi strikes out on a pitch down and away. 2 outs. Nissan pitch track. It'll be a tough matchup for Bryce Harper in a moment.
And a pretty good slider right there for Venters. That's the one I was talking about. 86 miles an hour made the good adjustment. But if you remember Bryce Harper v. Johnny Venters in Atlanta, home run to left field. That's the one he shot out of the howitzer, the low line drive that none of us thought was getting out of the ballpark.
Harper today, 2 walks and a base hit. Pulls that one. Freeman comes forward to get it. The Nats will get 1 run on the Nady double and lead by 2 into the 8th. TV Connect on your iPad. Brandon Beachy, really good for a while, but the pitch count got him. 115 pitches in 6 1/3. Steven Strasburg, 7 innings on 90 pitches. He could be 6-1 at the end of the day. And Jesus Flores behind the plate and at the plate, a really good day himself.
Let's go back to that 7th inning. A play you probably want to circle if the Nats hold on to win this ball game. Dan Uggla, 6 for 8 career coming into this game off Strasburg. And after Brian McCann's single to start the inning up, a little 6-4-3 double play on a first pitch fastball. And how about that 2-seamer right there to strike out Freddie Freeman? So just a great day for Strasburg. 7 innings, 9 strikeouts, no walks. Can't do much better than that.
Double switch for the Nats. Xavier Nady stays into play left field. Lombardozzi out. So the pitcher's batting first, and Sean Burnett makes his 20th appearance, sporting an 0.61 ERA. 1 run in nearly 15 innings on 9 hits. 19 strikeouts, 6 walks. Sean off to one of the best starts of his career.
And check out the average against. 176. 3-pitch guy, fastball, slider, change.
That ball is foul on a hop to LaRoche, guarding the line. 8th inning. Quickly the count's 0-2. Hayworth is 1 for 2. Christian Martinez.
And this is where if you're Sean Burnett in the shadows in an 0-2 count, you spin that slider up to Jason Hayward, it's going to look like a fastball. A tough pitch to pick up.
And a 1-2 pitch. Had him reaching. What a good pitch by Sean Burnett. Easy ground ball. Espinosa. First out, top of the 8th.
Yeah, first man out. Get that leadoff man out with a 2-run lead late in the ball game. You're looking good. Nice slider right there from Burnett. Had Hayward out in front. Like I said, you cannot pick up rotation right now. No shot.
And Jolton Simmons now the number 7 hitter. And a pinch hitter waiting next. Matt Diaz is on deck. Braves are down by 2. And he's by far their best right-handed bat still available. Great pitch by Burnett under the hands of the right-hander. 1 ball, 1 strike. Simmons has bounced out to Zimmerman and hit into a 6-4-3 double play. And he hit the ball extremely hard, picked by Desmond. Off the end of the bat. LaRoche to Burnett. 2 outs. Matt Diaz will be the hitter. And when you get a chance, join our buddies down in Woodbridge, the Potomac Nationals. Right down I-95 at Fitzner Stadium, 703-590-2311. Or visit PotomacNationals.com for all your ticket, promotion, and fun information.
I have that number on speed dial. I call about 5 times a day.
Trying to see what kind of superheroes or Titanic Day they're having?
No, I just feel like harassing them. Yeah, they haven't given us a good promotion to play with. Maybe they're like, hey, don't tell them what we got going on down here. They're ruining it for everybody.
We're promoting the heck out of that bunch down there. You can't buy that kind of advertising.
He said Hindenburg Monday. We can't do that anymore.
Oh, the humanity. 1 ball, 1 strike to Diaz, who as a pinch hitter this year is 3 for 14 with an RBI. Half swing, ball hits off the edge of the Nats dugout. How about the best home teams in the major leagues? Now the Rays have more wins, but the Nats have a better percentage than Tampa Bay, and right behind the Dodgers. And the Nats are also 11-6 against the East, despite losing 3 in a row. at Miami. Zimmerman can't reach it. That's a base hit. I'm a little surprised Ian Desmond threw that ball. And Diaz a reach with his 4th pinch hit of the year. That'll bring in Jose Constanza now with 2 outs.
Now, getting back to that home record, though, you go on a road trip like the Nats did and play in those ballparks, Philadelphia, Atlanta, and now Miami being a hostile environment with fans in the stands cheering their team on. There is no better feeling than coming back to this ballpark, putting your white uni on, and look at the crowd today.
Yeah.
You have a huge crowd like this. You're on the road for so long, and then you come home and you feed off the energy of this. I mean, you can't ask for anything more. This is a great crowd, a great atmosphere. I'll tell you what, every single one of those guys, glad to be home.
It's enough to make you feel big and rich when you come home. They'll be performing after the game today. Constanza 1 for 2 with a double.
Or like me and you, short and middle class.
Well, I'd like to think of us as medium height guys.
Well, I'm short, you're middle class. We'll be performing after a junior high school game here.
We'll be at the South Capitol and M Streets with some kettle drums and some other stuff after the game today. And a 1-1 pitch. Front door breaking ball stays inside. A big out to get here with speedy Michael Bourne up next. And Burnett will get the strike on the outside half. Bourne is 1 for 3 today with an outstanding defensive play. Little chopper, and that's a problem. Base hit. Even if Sean gets the bare hand cleanly, nothing he could have done about Constanza. So now Bourne will bat with 2 on.
Yeah, just put this one in your pocket. Burnett tried to make a great play right here, doing a little slide. If he bare hands it, the best thing he did was miss that, because if he throws that ball away and trying to make a spectacular play, you got the speedy Constanza representing the tie and run on second base.
So it comes down to Sean Burnett and Michael Bourne, who in his career against the left-hander is 3 for 9 with a double, a walk, 3 strikeouts.
And this is where, if you're Sean Burnett, you got to tell yourself, yeah, a couple guys reach base, but I'm keeping the ball on the ground. I'm making good pitches, 2 infield hits. So what? Go right after this guy.
Steve McCaddy on his way.
And this might just be a little buy him some time for Tyler Clippard to face Martin Prado should Bourne reach.
And you can't minimize the importance for the Nats, and we certainly hope he's okay. But when it rolls around to the number 3 spot, Brian McCann out of the ball game, and David Ross, a catcher who usually bats 7th or 8th when he starts, in his place. So that'll be a bit of a help to the Nats later on. But right now, job 1 getting Bourne. Steven Strasburg struck out 9 today. And the Washington area Toyota dealers helping children receiving medical treatment along with their families at the National Institutes of Health. Every strikeout gets the Children's Inn at NIH $37. Home or away. Steven, 7 innings, 4 hits, no runs, didn't walk anybody today. 9 strikeouts, couple of double play balls, 90 pitches, 59 strikes. Burnett throws a strike to Bourne.
A 2.11 average against lefties, pretty much owning righties. Big gap in right center field, and Constanza can run.
Oh, yeah. And LaRoche, after playing behind him, tried to sneak in for a surprise attack. Only thing about that is the pitcher has to soft toss that ball over there, and he has to lead LaRoche to the bag, or that could be a disaster. You can't really throw one hard over there on a play like that. In the air, left field. Nady near the line. That is a big out on a fly ball, a foul ball. The Braves have left 4 today. This one into the bottom of the 8th. And with Zimmerman, LaRoche, and Morse coming up, disappointment for the Braves. The Nats like it. Be in line for win number 6. Bring in the heat and the flavor. Cholula hot sauce. Here's our pitching recap. And Strasburg today got a bunch of strikeouts early. Bourne, Prado, McCann, and Ugla to start the game. And then after that, he would add 5 more by the time he finished his 7th inning. And then Brandon Beachy, 6 1/3, 3 hits, couple of runs. He walked 4, struck out 6, and his pitch count astronomical, up to 115 pitches through 6 1/3 innings. So that's your pitching matchup recap of the day. And here comes Zimmerman with LaRoche and Morse to follow. Bottom 8. Christian Martinez. 3 straight scoreless appearances. Been a little streaky for the Braves. He had been scored on in 4 consecutive outings before then. Zimmerman, a tough luck 0 for 3 today. 2 hard line drives to the outfield.
And Martinez, a 3-pitch guy. Fastball, slider, change. You saw the 2-seam fastball right there. He's got a good changeup to go with the slider.
Zimmerman turns on one. Got a really nice note yesterday from John Campbell of Burke, Virginia, Gordon Young of Herndon, Virginia, and they wanted us to give a shout out to a buddy of theirs, Jim Richardson, who's battling a very rare lung condition. He's awaiting a lung transplant, and we just want Jim to know that we're with him 100% of the way, buddy. You're in our hopes. You're in our thoughts and our prayers, and we hope that you're in line for that, and that happens for you very quickly. And you got a couple of good buddies who wanted us to give you a little shout out today, and we'll try to win a ball game for you today. Zimmerman high in the air center field. Michael Bourne takes care of that. The bottom of the 8th is underway, and our best to Jim Richardson. Next up will be Adam LaRoche and then Michael Morse. And by the way, after the ball game, Johnny and Phil will be up here in the booth to do Nats Extra. They were afraid nobody would watch the concerts that those guys were doing their show out in left field. So they'll be up here. Nice play, Freddie Freeman to the pitcher, Martinez. And that's 2 quick outs here, bottom 8, with Michael Morse coming up. See if Michael can do something his 4th at bat. Freddie Freeman, we noticed this last year up in spring training when we saw him down in Vieira.
Man, nobody knows about Freddie Freeman. He's got an absolute cannon.
Yeah.
One of the best arms you'll ever see in an infield. He's playing first base. Doesn't get to use it very often.
And he can pick it. We were very impressed before ever seeing him in the regular season with his defense last year. Michael Moore's 4th at bat of the day. He's hit the ball to the shortstop 3 times. The last time was right up the middle.
And Simmons made a nice play last time going to his left. And Michael Morse would love to check in with his first knock of the 2012 season right here.
So he'll go to deep short that time. Simmons, that kid can play some short. That's pretty obvious. Here we go. Top of the 9th. Prado, Ross, and Ugla. Nats by 2. Dodge. Go to Dodge.com or visit your local Dodge dealer this weekend. Gorgeous day on the banks of the Potomac, the Anacostia, wherever you may be in Washington, D.C. And this one at Nationals Park going to the top of the 9th inning. When the game's over, stay with us. Nats Extra Postgame. It's presented by W.B. Mason. Rick Ankiel takes over for the Nats in center field. That'll move Bryce Harper to right. And the new pitcher trying to close this thing out and grab his 4th save will be Tyler Clippard.
You see the numbers on Tyler Clippard for the year. The 2.91 ERA, 27 strikeouts versus just 9 walks. And the opponent's average against 177. So 4-pitch guy. Fastball, cutter, curveball, change. Pretty much fastball change. Likes to steal strike 1 with the off speed.
Last 3 appearances, all saves. He faces Martin Prado, who is 0 for 14 career against him. I'm not sure Martin Prado is 0 for 14 against anybody else.
I think Clippard caught a break right there with strike 1. That ball looked up and in. He got the call.
Martin Prado today 0 for 3, strikeout, pop up to short, fly ball to center. Out of play, right side.
And generally speaking, if you see a guy offer at a high fastball like that, Tyler Clippard, in his history, he'll climb the ladder. Maybe go with that elevator fastball right here in an 0-2 count. The guy will show you he's going to swing at something up. You throw one higher the next pitch.
He goes upstairs with it, overpowers him, gets the pop-up, and Bryce Harper is there. And now, as we mentioned last inning, instead of facing Brian McCann, it's right-handed hitting David Ross.
Now you get the leadoff guy out, that's everything in a 2-run game. Said it last inning, I'll say it again. And David Ross has got some pop. If for whatever reason Prado reaches right there, now the game changes. How you pitch him, everything changes. Now, if you're Tyler Clippard, you just go right after him.
David Ross at the plate. 222 on the year, 10 hits and 45 at bats, couple of home runs and 5 RBIs. Front door changeup to a 289 hitter. David Ross in his 9th year. Tried the same pitch, just missed.
And it looked like he wanted to. See the body language, the long look into Darryl Cousins right there.
David Ross against Tyler Clippard, 0-4-1 career with a walk. Dan Uggla is on deck. Important to keep this guy off base ahead of that power hitter. That's on the outer half. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
He went with the cutter, got a call. In a 2-1 count, he wasn't going to triple up on the changeup. Goes with the cutter away and gets the call. Good pitch, good spot.
Swing and a miss, 2 outs.
You just can't set anybody up better than that. A bunch of off-speed pitches in a row, and then you get the 93-mile-an-hour fastball for strike 3. So just a challenge piece from Clippard to Ross, and Clippard wins.
And the big thing here, of course, is Dan Uggla cannot tie the game. Nats lead 2-0. Uggla 0 for 3 today with 2 strikeouts, a double play ball against Steven Strasburg. A crowd of 41,042 anticipating a 3rd out here in the 9th inning as the Nats try to win their 30th game of the year. Uggla career against Clippard, 2 for 11 with a home run, 2 walks. When contact, there's been damage. That's a changeup that floated up and in. And I think Uggla was very willing to let that ball hit him and get Freddie Freeman into the batter's box, but it missed him.
Well, Uggla's going to be swinging right here in a 2-1 count. And if you're Tyler Clippard, maybe you go with that elevated fastball up because he's going to go. He's ready.
There he goes, and it's out of play. Back and to the left, and the Nats are a strike away.
The same thing as Martin Prado. You threw a fastball up, he chased it. You got 2 pitches to play with right here if you're Tyler Clippard. Maybe you throw one higher, and all of a sudden, this crowd is making some serious noise.
Change up, and the game is over. Tyler Clippard, 4 consecutive saves, and the Nats win it 2-0, beating the Braves for the 4th time this year and the 6th time in a row.
And 16-8 at home now for the Nats, 12-6 against the East. And Carp, the concert was during the game in the form of Steven Strasburg. He was amazing.
That was artistry and some sweet pitching music today. A 6-hitter by Strasburg, Burnett, and Clippard. The Nats win it, and now the weekend's off to a good start.